than the other brand. Oh God, I'm getting it in my mouth. Ugh, tastes like I just ate a giant donut. Oh! I got something on my mind, ooh, yeah. And I got one thing to sing to you. I don't even need baby wipes. I just needed to grab something that was really loud, and what I actually need today is not loud. Because let's be real, is this more entertaining? Or is this more entertaining? See what I mean? It makes sense. It's more loud, it's more... Never mind. What we are here for... I almost just knocked that over. Oh God. What we're here for today, we need baby powder, and we need baby powder for today's actual scooter hack. So this one's kind of interesting. A lot of people know about it, but some of you guys might not. I'm not the one that created this. I'm not taking credit for creating this. I'm just showing you. That's all I'm doing. But I'm showing you with our little friend right here. That's Roger. Okay, so one of the things as scooter slash BMX slash motocross, a lot of these things that we all have in common is we all have grips that are just like these ones right here. They're like this rubbery kind of compound. Now, obviously, as human beings, we all sweat. Our hands sweat. Either we get nervous or we're riding hard or something like that. Everybody's hands, they all sweat. When you're riding a scoot or you're riding a BMX or something like that, and your grips get really sweaty, it can definitely affect your riding. If you're doing something that has to do with bar spins or something like that, and you spin your bars, and when you grab back on your grip, it's slippery. It's kind of awkward. It's not like, usually your hands are gonna slide off and you're not gonna fall because it's not that slippery usually, but I mean, there definitely are times where it's so slippery to where you have to get something, anything. You get your shirt out and you kind of do one of these, but there are secrets. There are ways to get the sweat off. Now, everybody's a little bit different. Everybody sweats at different paces. For example, my hands do get kind of sweaty, but not nearly as sweaty as, say, Steve's do. Steve's hands, like when I grab his scooter sometimes, and I put that thing on the floor and I'm about to ride it, and I go like this, it's like I just put like water bottle or something. It's like that's exactly what it feels like. But when he gets on my scoot, it feels a little bit different. Everybody fixes these kinds of issues a little bit differently because their own personal qualities. But one of the best ways that I've learned to fix this kind of an issue. Now, when I said earlier, when I said to get the sweat, there's a whole bunch of different ways to get the sweat off. I don't actually mean like it doesn't actually take the sweat off. It's not like he took an air blower or anything like that to it and just it's gone. That's not exactly what it does. It more so dissipates it. So this is where we get back into the baby powder. For example, let me put this into some terms that you guys might understand. So think for a second, you took this bottle of water and you poured it onto the ground, right? And there's a small puddle, not a super big one. It's small, it's shallow, but there is a puddle nonetheless. Now let's put something in replace of baby powder for a second. We'll say dirt. When I was younger, I played with dirt a ton. I did all kinds of stuff with dirt. I ate it, I threw it on stuff, I loved it. Now, that little puddle of water that you have right there, you kick some dirt on it, what happens when you actually start like rubbing your foot into that dirt? The water just gets sucked up, right? It's essentially acting as a sponge. That's exactly what this baby powder is gonna do. It's gonna dissipate that sweat to where it kind of dries off to where it's not nearly as noticeable because it's now it's more of a solid state as opposed to a liquid state. I'm not sweaty, I'm not riding at all right now. I'm just kind of chilling at the shop, but I have my street scoot right here. And basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use exactly what I just said. I'm gonna use this water, I'm gonna pour it on my grips a little bit, and I'm gonna definitely get my grips like super soaked, like way past the point of actually anything that's realistic for somebody with sweaty hands. Now, everybody has this issue. I don't care what kind of grips you guys ride. I don't care. Like my grips, they trust me, they get sweaty sometimes. It gets hot enough outside to where my hands get super sweaty. There are no grips unless you're riding a foam grip, like on a Razor scooter or something like that, which I actually love foam grips for the record. I love them, but they don't last very long. There's no grip on the market at all well, at least not right now, that basically differs itself from any other grip when it comes to sweat. So I have the NVTPR grips. These are the grips that I run on my scooter. These are the glow-in-the-dark versions, which actually do glow in the dark pretty well for those of you guys that are wondering. A lot of you guys might ride, I rode ODIs for a really long time, like ODI softies, just like these grips right here. I rode these for days and I loved these grips. It's got a great design, things like that. So, but again, like I said, these grips, there is no grip on the market that doesn't, what am I trying to say? There's no grip on the market, again, that doesn't have a sweat issue, period. Some are worse than others. The pattern definitely does make a difference when it comes to the grip, because of the fact that if you think about, like, if you had something that was flat and you started to sweat, that sweat has nowhere to go. But if you have something, like if this Envy grip, for example, if the entire thing had like ribs that were like the size of those ribs right here, you see these big giant ribs as opposed to these really tiny ones. If this entire grip had ribs the sizes of these, it's essentially going to act as a pocket, and the sweat is just going to go inside of there and it's just going to sit there. It's not going to have anywhere to dissipate. It's not going to run anywhere. That's why these have, like, they're very small lines and they're very long. Is because then the sweat, if there is sweat and it does get super sweaty, it has area, it has room to basically dissipate and go to other places, so it doesn't build up in one spot. Scooters are weird, bro. I'm gonna get my water bottle, I'm gonna take the cap off, and I'm just gonna start to pour little by little, like small amounts onto my grips. Oh, you know what, I need to open this. Aha, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna take this water, I'm just gonna put my thumb over the opening. I'm just gonna dribble some of it. It's probably still gonna pour out though. Yep, still pouring. This is, like I said, this is way gnarlier than you'll ever feel, but my grips right now, they are slipping. You can even hear it, even this one now. I just had some of it on this hand, and it's slipping like crazy. Now, if you have black grips, take this into consideration. Baby powder is freaking white. If you have black grips, you're gonna have gray grips for the day. It does go away, and you will have to reapply this. But the beauty of this kind of stuff is you can buy it in much smaller sizes, to where you can just chuck this stuff in your backpack, or even put it inside like a little Ziploc baggie. Take it to the skate park, and it's easily accessible. It's not taking a bunch of room in your bag or anything like that. Oh man, this is making my hands nasty though. I've moved them around a little bit to where it's kind of feeling like a really bad day on a sweat level. So I'm just gonna take my baby powder. I'm actually gonna take my watch off, and I'm gonna start with putting some of this on my hands. Now, it might feel weird at first, again, but I'm gonna start, oh Jesus. That should be more than enough, like that's plenty. I'm just gonna kind of rub it in my hands like this, put it on my grips, and just start to kind of move it around a little bit. You might have to do this a couple times just to where it gets to the perfect spot to where you've gotten enough on there. Like you might need more and more, but just go little. Like, I mean, I guess you could put a ton on there. I'm not a person that wants to do that. I don't want to put like a ton. Now I can feel it kind of like it's basically, like I said, it's dissipating it. It's the water in this case is being absorbed by the actual baby powder, because the baby powder is kind of thick. I'm gonna put a bit more on there now. Like I said, I don't really have to use baby powder all that much. Every now and then I'll grab something that kind of dissipates that sweat to where it's not causing like a huge issue, but I don't have to use it that much. So I don't have it in my bag or anything like that. I don't know if there are different brands that make a difference. I don't know if any of them are thicker than others. But I know that no matter what brand you get, it should work just fine. You might just have to put a little bit more on than the other brand. Oh God, I'm getting it in my mouth. Ugh, tastes like I just ate a giant donut. All right, cool. So now, whoa, look at that. But now my grips are relatively dry. They're not as dry as could possibly be. But like I said, the more, oh God, black was probably a bad idea for this. Like I was saying, the sweatier your hands get, the more of this stuff that you might need. Oh! Now, the best part about baby powder too is a lot of times, like families will have this stuff in their house, so it doesn't cost you anything. This one cost me $2, and I'm sure you could go, and I've seen it plenty of times at the Dollar Tree. I've seen it at the 99-cent store. I just happened to go to Albertsons today because I wasn't close to a 99-cent store, but if I was close, I would have just gone to a 99-cent store because it's $1. But that is going to do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and hopefully it's something that you guys can actually use, something that you guys learned. I know I use it every now and then, not as much as some people, but I know there are a ton of pros out there that use that hack, just specifically for sweaty grips. Again, do not get that stuff in your headset, because that will ruin your headset, and then you guys will probably come at me for it. So don't do that. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Also, be on the lookout for the new merch, which should be available here very, very soon. And hopefully you guys have liked some of the designs. And if you guys have not seen the designs, the new ones, go over to @RaymondWarnerDotCom on Instagram. Check them out and let me know what you guys think about them. But until next time, I'm out. Later.